payrolls, of course, as they usually do.
Well, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome everybody to the live trading webinar. Hope everybody's doing well. Can see my screen and hear my voice. Okay, we're in the aftermath of the NFP, so we'll be breaking that down. Hope everybody's doing well. Anthony, Chris, good to see you both. Hey, Paul, let's just bump you up here. Mia, John, here we go again, folks. Hey, Horatio, Mark Anthony, let's get ready to rumble. Okay. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Good afternoon, Paul. Good morning, Paul, in fact, I should say.
Good afternoon, Giles. How's it going, everybody?
Oh,
We've got a big weekend here in Philadelphia. It
oh,
is Super Bowl weekend. So we're
Just
shutting
know,
down.
I said currently just focusing on the revisions. He said that was the biggest part of the report, and taking time to note that the revisions lower over the course of last year have been quite significant.
Thank you. Thank you. Go Eagles. Appreciate that.
Questioning why we're seeing positive jobs numbers, and then we go back and get big revisions.
The Eagles are one of the most hated sports franchise teams in the nation. And we are very proud of that. I grew up in New England, so I'm supposed to be a Patriots fan, but I never really watched football growing up. And so I'm a bandwagon Eagles fan. And
So is the Eagles based in Philly?
they are, yep, they're Philly. So
Right.
yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. You want to flip your camera on, Giles?
Oh, yeah, I do. Sorry. Yeah, I've got so many buttons to press. I'm forgetting the most obvious ones. There we go. There we go.
Here, yeah, that's both of your boys are big fan of the Eagle. Where do you live again? Or what part of the country slash world are you from? Oh, okay. Perfect. Atlanta, Georgia. It's a cheap flight from Philadelphia, so my
Very good.
sister lives in Charlotte, so not too far from that area.
And who are they playing, Paul?
They're playing the Chiefs, who are the defending world champions.
World
And
is in US.
yeah. No. World champions. We would be any football team that the world stage could put up
Yeah,
against
exactly. Yeah.
the Eagles or the Chiefs. But there's lots of controversy because Mahomes is the quarterback of the Chiefs, and he's been accused many times of getting all kinds of favorable calls from the refs. So we'll see if that's
Okay.
the case. And then if they were to win, this would be a
Just out
three.
on the geopolitical front, US Central Command commander has discussed with the Israel Chief of Staff possible scenarios on near and long fronts to enhance readiness, according to Sky News Arabia.
Yeah, so it'd be a three-peat if they won. And so this is very much in
Where
Philly
the
style,
EU
the underdog.
said to be looking at suspending sanctions on Syria's oil industry and banks, according to Bloomberg.
Yeah,
And
but Chris, we don't. Chris says the rest of the world plays rugby, but Chris, we don't care about the rest of the world because we're American. So it's good and it's bad. It has its good traits and its bad traits. But you play soccer and football and rugby,
yeah.
and we're just like no.
See, we've got the Six Nations over here in Europe, and you've got some good fixtures coming up. You've got France playing England, and you've got
Okay,
Scotland taking on Ireland on the weekend. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
very nice, very nice.
Okay, well, from one game to another, and this is the game of unpacking the NFP print. Essentially, that's the afterglow which we're joining the market in. And if you look at the price action says up, up and away, right? The print said down, down, below.
Yeah.
So if you look at the actual headline print we've had, um, you can see here the revision was higher, the print was below expectations. But look at that unemployment rate, 4%. And when you consider that the Fed projected in December that the unemployment rate would be 4.3% for 2025, That is a great start at 4% and in line with the minimum expectation. Then look at the average earnings above market's maximum expectations. So that is a print that should support the S&P 500 falling lower. But here's the reason it's not clear cut and there's not an obvious trade out of this. Because although we've got a strong jobs print today, the Bureau for Labour Statistics have announced some downward revisions. So the market's digesting those downward revisions for the numbers generally. They're also digesting that the headline missed. And if you look at the NFP numbers, you know, that does keep in line, that latest print now does keep in line with a slightly weakening labour market and bucks that um, very high print at the end of December, right? Then if you look at the short-term interest rate markets, you can see that they haven't really moved at all for the print. So short-term interest rate markets aren't suddenly saying, oh, the Fed are higher for longer necessarily, right? Slightly higher for longer, but only a marginal repricing, just a little bit higher. So a strong print really should be negative for the E-mini. And you can see that was the initial
once again,
reaction.
just reiterating what we've heard from other officials, the tariffs announced on Canada and Mexico were to do with fentanyl, not trade.
Right. And that's where we saw that initial reaction. But we stayed out of the market. I was trading this live because it just wasn't clear. Right? There was something for everyone there, a little bit. However, as price just moved up to that second standard deviation, I was happy to take that move back down to the VWAP as a reasonable expectation. So I just took a couple of shorts up against that second standard deviation. Now that's only with one account that one of the accounts I'm trying to pass, right? So it's low conviction, but worth a punt, right? And I was just taking off a small profit for both of those, 5, 6 points, whatever. So the other thing we have to be now aware of is the University of Michigan preliminary print that's coming up at 3. Now, that markets will pay attention to this one because it's the first print of the month. And in particular, they'll be looking at these inflation expectations. And we saw this before, Paul, when this surprises, the market takes note. So in particular, that 5-year is really high at 3.2%, and the 1 year is high at 3.3%. So if we see that ticking up even higher, it tells us the US consumer's worried about inflation. Some economists prefer this as an inflation measure because whereas businesses might do projections 6 months, a year in advance, they outline what they're anticipating to spend.
AI-related news for SoftBank SFTVY, according to CNBC, is set to invest some $40 billion in OpenAI. And that is further to reports this week that had suggested that the Japanese company was set to invest in OpenAI. Faber of CNBC saying SoftBank finalizing that $40 billion investment into OpenAI. First payment set to be made this spring.
The US consumer will make spending decisions, month to month, week to week, even depending on when they get paid, right? So they're much more responsive to inflationary pressures. So we got to keep an eye on that 3. Just be aware that's a market mover. Bowman speaking at 225, Kugler at 5. So we've got another important event coming up. I'll leave the Canadian data because that's really going to be impacting the
White
FX
House economic
markets.
advisor Hassett just concluding his interview on Bloomberg, and we do expect he's going to be doing the rounds in the pre-market across media channels in wake of the payrolls data. In terms of that data, he didn't really say much. He instead pointed out the significant revisions that we've seen over the course of the last 12 months. Elsewhere, he spoke about tariff policy, but didn't offer us any new information. He also spoke about tax policy and said Trump was negotiating the parameters of it. Other than that, not really too much new from White House advisor Hassett.
Right. So looking at the broad outlook of the market, what can we see? We see the E-mini is continuing to move higher. It's trying to move up in some
DBKGY, Deutsche Bank report to lead to tighten terms for loans to SRT buyers. That's according to Bloomberg News.
It's just moving up into that overhead resistance. So we've got a little bit of upside to go, And it wouldn't be unreasonable to see us testing up at those highs.
And just for reference, SRT
So I'm just going to turn the squawk off. I can't get. I'm just going to turn the squawk off for a minute because I can't finish a sentence. With the E-mini moving up towards that 6100, right? That is a very legitimate area. But the University of Michigan print that could create a separate driver later on. So in terms of what we're expecting in terms of the E-mini, I still favour on balance selling. But we've got to look at the price action. The price action is moving higher, right? So we can't ignore that. So we've got to keep that in mind. Looking at the inventory, see that inventory is positive, and you can see here that those sellers that are trapped, but they're only trapped into the top of this kind of value area that we're coming into here. This bottom of this value area from the uh, 9th of December. Um, and we're trying to push above this value area from last week and the developing value area from this week. So it's a really important area that we're trying to come into, but just bear in mind that this is a key area where we're trying to push through. So it could be quite stiff up here. So just keep that in mind. In terms of the short term opportunities, we are pushing above yesterday's confirmed value area, and price is clearly, you can see it's trying to reach and make a run up to the 6116. So you did see a 5 minute bunch of sellers get trapped here, right? And you see that price is trying to move higher, move higher. If you get those sellers trapped on the 5 here, I'll take that as a tradable opportunity before the open, because that will give me a little bit of confirmation that it's wanting to move up. Okay, because you got the positive inventory. That will be an obvious capitulation point. Also, if you look at the 15 minute, you got 15 minute who've trapped those sellers, all those sellers here, all the sellers from before the US Open, trapped. That's indicating now that it really wants to go higher. Okay, so trapping those sellers there on the 5, that will be the last kind of confirmation. Okay, and you wouldn't be surprised to see that push up higher, maybe make a run through the highs. So that's what I'm looking for there. We're coming to a 15 minute close. Let's have a look. And in fact, it's 110. In fact, that if we break above these sellers here, that would just be a confirmation to go long off the bat, which I would take. All right, let's have a look. There's one. All right, let's see if we get this. I'm just going to wait for this. If we get this, I'm just taking that long. Stops underneath the VWAP.
Yeah, I'll go with you with that one actually as well, Giles. We're pushing up, we're pushing higher.
Yeah,
We've had a chance to digest this. We're not at the highs. We're still a
yeah.
few points away. It's a shot that we just kind of want to run up there.
Is that above? It's not quite above, right? So that's not a trade for me on the 15. Let's have a look on the 5. I'll take it on the 5.
Yeah, it's just above on the 5.
So I'd enter that.
Real tight stop. Like
Yeah,
it's
enter
like
that.
a 3-4 point stop.
Enter that on the 5. Right.
See if we can get a run higher.
Yeah, okay. There we go. So just put the stop underneath the VWAP. So I'm 109 to 103. Right. Okay. And I'm looking for a run back up to here. Up to that 6117 or before the open. So yeah, you got sort of you got those sellers trapped there, and then see if I can get around up to 6117. That's the kind of target. All right.
Yep. Yeah, I'm in the same trade. The stop's a little tighter, the 6106 under that 5 minute candle.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
Um,
fine, isn't it? Right.
your target's just above the highs?
Yeah, just looking to see if I can get into the 6117.
Yep.
That sort of makes sense, really. Uh,
Hey, Devon.
okay.
See if we can get any kind of movement or if we just kind of top out around here.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm happy just to leave that as we carry on. So looking at the rhythm of the session, balanced through the European mid-morning, just waiting for the NFP. Now we've had the NFP and we've got a clear kind of shift upwards, trying to develop into a trend. Okay. And we're just condensing price right up into that 6109 region. You can see it more clearly on the 15-minute. You can see this building, this sellers sort of potentially getting rejected here. And if we see those sellers being rejected, then that's just more sign that price wants to go up. Um, so that's kind of what we're seeing. So a developing trend upwards. Got University of Michigan print coming up, something to be very conscious of. That's not for now. Projections, again, my projections are down to the 6105, potentially, up to the 6117. So if we hit the 6117, back down to the 6105 again. If we can get up to the 610117, then it's looking if we can get to the 6128. So I'm expecting it to go higher, either down and up. If we break down through this 6101, then I'd expect support around the 6094. So very similar to yesterday, how I was expecting support, and we had that support level at the 60-70, which just worked out to a beautiful support level. I'm expecting the same kind of outlook today, and yeah, that's the outlook. The important areas, obviously, got a very important area here where sellers are trying to get trapped, and that is those sellers who are trying to sell the NFP headline. Okay, so that's an important area. If they can keep holding and they can get back in control, then looking for these buyers getting trapped. So buyers and sellers in the last sort of an hour are the really important ones to be looking at. If you look at the NFP at the hourly chart, you can see sellers trapped here are very important at the 6107. Yeah, the only thing I just don't like is that overhead resistance we're heading into on the value area. But given the rejection of the lower prices,
And you got the open as well, so you sometimes can be a little squirrely, but
yeah, it can be. But looking at this is a market that's wanting to push higher. We can see that sentiment is still higher. Um, you know, it's a bullish market,
yeah.
and inventory is positive. So happy to keep that. Let's think. Anything else to mention? I think that's it from me, Paul. Anything
Okay.
from yourself? Anything?
Not too much from me. I'm just waiting for something to start moving here. Give me something to kind of trade, get my teeth into. Hopefully maybe this announcement at 10 a.m. will give us something to go for as well. Maybe that's the main event actually, because the market's kind of not sure what to do with the NFP. It's not really that clear. So
Yeah,
maybe we'll get some kind of inflation reading that helps the market out a bit at 10. So we'll see.
yeah,
We'll see.
yeah,
It's what's interesting is if you zoom out, like you were saying about this trend, we are just continuing to push higher. You noticed we were stuck in this big range yesterday, and then late in the session, like 2, 3 p.m., we had this violent push down, and it
yes,
just it just wasn't sustained at all. And
yeah,
market pushed to new highs. We had earnings announcement that came out, pushed it down 76 to like 30, 40 points. Couldn't sustain it, pushed new highs. Yet another sort of NFP announcement comes out, pushes it here, and we're almost at new highs again. So what's the market telling you, right? It wants to go up. Um, so that's why I was a little more eager to kind of jump in this trade, even though we don't have anything, as much as I'd like to see established for breaking new highs on a session.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
so
You
yeah,
just
so
had the news, hadn't you? So you feel that that news is swashing around still.
yep, yep. Um, I'm just gonna bring this trade to break even. Just before the open, probably get stopped out on it. That's fine. I'll
Yeah,
wait for
okay.
something else to develop. Right up at the highs. Had about 5 minutes. It's just kind of chopping around. It's fine.
It's not going anywhere, is it?
It's not going anywhere. We've got the open coming up. Um, so maybe we'll establish some direction there.
Yeah.
But I think until we see something more sustained on the downside, like market wants to buy these dips. So that's what I'm going to look to do too.
Yeah, I think that's right. I'm still holding on a little bit.
Okay. I'm still in by like a quarter of a tick.
Yeah, yeah. I like this. I like the structure of it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just think, okay, just ticked out for break even. I think you've got a decent chance of a nice push down with the open
Yeah, I think that's right.
liquidity hunt and then resume the direction. So
Yeah, I think that's
just not interested in those extra variables.
yeah, I do.
Anyone else have any weekend plans? Do anything crazy? I may storm our Broad Street here in Philadelphia if the Eagles win. Might climb a pole or two. You may not see me. Uh, they're greasing all the poles in Philadelphia, so
Oh, well, that's a challenge. Everyone loves a challenge, right?
that's it. That's it. Yeah, come back and share some pictures with the group. Yeah, yeah, they are. Yeah, thanks, Horatio. I just don't want Taylor Swift to win. I've had enough of her. A couple years.
Yeah, she's got everywhere, hasn't she?
Yeah. Went to a beach club yesterday. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Any good?
With my son. Okay. Fair enough. So I'm assuming it wasn't a rager. Okay. Yeah, Mark. That's good.
Right, this is just too close to the open for me, and I'm going nowhere, so I'm out.
Yep.
Okay.
For later. Okay. Yeah, well, that's the problem. They've beaten basically everybody, right? Won the Super Bowl last couple years, so they create a lot of enemies, which I'm all for. Yeah. Yeah, I get you, Horatio. We're way up at these tops, way up at the highs. We've tested this high level how many times? I mean,
Yeah.
if you count the sixth, going back to the sixth, and you want to say part of the highs is 6104, right? It's like one, two, three, four. Now you've tested it, yesterday in the afternoon, five, six, tested it four times, five times today. So we'll see what happens. But we keep knocking on the door, so we'll see if the market wants to cruise up to the all-time highs, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the structure's bullish, isn't it? Everywhere you
Yeah,
look
very
at it,
bullish.
the recent structure is bullish.
Yep.
So you look at that. Just pull it just when it's starting to get so
Well,
cheeky.
yeah, it's more of a risk assessment. It's just like had its little chance to scoot up there, maybe bring me to break even, give me some options. But
Mark Anthony Giles says tricky going short. Yeah.
yeah, there's certain signals. He's got his own like algorithm that's just built on certain words. He treats you like Powell. Powell says something, if you revise he revises a line. It's got an AI built to compare your lines.
Do you know what? I'm tempted to go. I'm tempted just to go long, just to take the other side because I do like a long here. If we close above this 15, Paul,
Yep.
and then you get a pull back down to this value area, I like that a
But
lot.
we're not closing above it yet. But yeah,
No, I know, but
oh, there we go. There's the volume.
if I get that at the open, then I'm going to be entering in at 6105. Stops
Oh,
just
6105. Okay, so you'll enter on quite a retracement, even though it's trapped the 845 by sellers.
yeah, just because of the volatility you get from the open.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait, see what happens. It's open.
Okay, so I need to see a close. If I don't see a close, then let's have a look. Close above, and I'm with you. Okay, I am in that if I can get a little retracement.
Well, did we get a close above? Let me see.
Yeah, we did.
On the 5 minute or the 15 minute?
15.
Oh yeah, we did.
Right.
Yeah, just barely,
Yeah,
yep.
we did. Yeah, yeah. Right, so I'm in that. I like that from that price.
Okay.
And I just like because that's a nice area. Now it's quite tight. Got to be careful here because it's right at the open.
Yeah, you might get a test of those highs. Where's your target? Just above the highs? 15?
Yeah, I'm going for the 6117, see if I can get up to there.
Yeah, okay.
Moving it to break even. Right, now I'm just going to see if I can hold it.
Just about there.
Right, Devon's saying there's resistance up at this 6115, so let's have a little look if we can. There's a bit more volume creeping in now, trying to punch through.
Yeah, you have hit those highs, so you're gonna get some people, taking a little bit of profit up there, but
Okay, I've taken mine off. That'll do for me.
nice. Nice trade.
Yeah. I probably could have held it, but it's the same old problem. So that'll do.
Yeah, but that's not bad. I mean, yeah, I think that's how
It
many
was nice.
points?
It was see, because I've noticed on the 15, when you get these 15 and you get it even just by a tick, you see, just that little retracement lower, that was enough for me.
Yep. And that was you're governing kind of that open reaction so that you get a little deeper retracement
Get
and
the
then you
deeper
um,
retracement because you think it's highly likely to get that retracement.
yeah.
So
That was a nice one.
that'll do. Yeah, cheers, Devon. Thanks for the heads up on the resistance as well. It's being a bit sticky up there.
Yeah.
Well done, Mark. Very nice.
Mark took a little bit off that one. It's good.
Right. And there we go. There's a little bit of a pullback going on. Just think of the pain I would have been in seeing that pull. So
Well, no, I think that's right because it's like I don't know, like where are we gonna go? And we're right at the open, and I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
Also, like recent price, what is recent price action telling you? It's just like since even yesterday, it's just all over the place. I'd much rather wait for a nice
Yeah.
retracement.
And the kind of place it's at, you feel the top up there, don't you? When you look at the 1 hour,
Yeah.
we're going to this big, big old value area.
Yep.
Oh, I just feel so happy now, Paul. Oh, there's nothing that makes me happier than this now.
That's a strong emotion. You gotta watch out for that in your trading class.
Oh, you mate, I'm like a roller coaster. You know what I mean? Look at that. Here we go. So these are the guys. Joking aside, you're almost thinking, do you want to re-enter? Let me have a look here. Yeah, was a very good call. Bit of extra volume coming in. It's building.
Hey, quite a bit of volume on that previous 5 minute candle.
Yeah,
If we can see what the market wants to do.
and that's still holding. That was the reaction to the open, wasn't it? That was the buying.
Yep.
And that made sense. Like, if you look at all the structure, if you were selling the NFP here, I mean, that's where I was selling in line with these sellers here, essentially, when you
Yep.
had the 5 minute that refused to go above the second standard deviation. I was just sort of selling into that.
Yep.
Then you've got those sellers, and look, with them all capitulating, they capitulated here, you see. So they
Yep.
had no conviction to selling.
Yep.
Um,
It's just up, up, up and away.
up, wait, and then you can see it on the 15 here, those sellers. So it makes sense that why we've had that dip and then push up, at least to test it.
Yep. Yep.
Um, but we don't have conviction to the upside here either.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul, I meant to ask you, riding Vespers in Italy, this captured my imagination, and I was imagining you and your dad yesterday in Italy. What's the secret to do it? How did you manage it? What did you
Oh, there's no, I don't know if there's any secret other than, I mean, you have to know how to ride a bike. You know, if you ride a bike or like I grew up riding a dirt bike, and I
Yeah.
was younger, so it wasn't a big deal for me to like
So
transition
yes,
to
you use a
Vespa.
Vespa, yeah.
And then you're more just kind of accepting the risk. Um, but honestly, I didn't find it, I found it really enjoyable. Like I didn't find it bad or hard to do at all. So
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
trying to think,
You're probably not going too fast, are you? It's probably
well, I mean,
30 miles an hour. Is that?
yeah, yeah, that's about right. And you really wouldn't get on any of the more of the major roads. Like you're doing a
No.
lot of street to street type thing. So it may have sounded worse than it actually was. I think what the hardest thing is you're in a country that's different than your own. So you don't kind of know what are the norms and rules and that sort of thing.
You mean you're not in the US?
Yeah, yeah. But but I mean, I think I don't know. They're actually very good to bikers. And
Yeah,
because their culture, you have probably way more bikers than cars. So
yeah. It sounded real fun actually.
yeah, yeah, it's great. I want to go back there. Maybe we'll go back to Rome at some point, but I want to go to Venice as well. But
I was speaking to a lady in the fish. We had fish and chips, very British last night with the family, and there was the lady in the fish and chip shop wanted to go to Venice as well.
oh, okay, nice.
We were sort of sharing a holiday.
Okay,
Well, it's a very wintry, cold day here in the UK, so we were thinking of nice places to go.
okay, okay.
Okay, so we've got the point control right up here. We've got this stiff resistance, but yet, what does price tell us? It's relentlessly wanting to push up. If we see these sellers getting trapped, I wouldn't be surprised if that flushes high up on that.
Yeah.
But then equally, that could be the bit of top, couldn't it? Up at that, where the volume is up here. All right, let's see. This is interesting. This is interesting. Hey, Konstantinos. Right, thanks, Alan. Alan's just pointing out, um, not that, that the Dow is down, Nasdaq up. So trade carefully. Volatility lower. I think there's a bit of relief going around markets. Look at copper, gold, silver. You've got that weaker dollar. Let's just check what the dollar's doing. Yeah, dollar's a bit weaker as well. We've got the US China. the China tariffs are meant to come on Monday, but it's like the market's pricing that the trade chores war's not going to be too bad. There we go. Right, pushing up.
All right, there we go. See how we close here. What about a long at the 6115, Giles? If we get a close, get a
Yeah,
nice gap.
I see it, Paul. Got the point of control up there. The thing I don't like is that developing value area high.
Yep,
Are you pushing away from, see, are we pushing away from it here on the weekly though?
yep, yep.
So we're pushing away from it on the weekly, which is in keeping with the price. Oh, it's tricky. Um, we're extended at that second standard deviation, so we're quite extended.
Yep.
No, it's not for me, Paul.
Yep.
I feel it's too stretched, and I've got to have my stop under the 6108.
Yep. 7 points
Inventory,
out, 8.
yeah, inventory's positive.
Yep.
No, so if this is going to go, I'd wait for a breakout, pullback and away, or pullback and away.
Yep.
I think that's going to be my take on that.
If I get enough of a gap, and I don't get a, candle that closes way down here,
I see
try
that,
to,
Paul, as well, because look,
try
you've
to
got the
jump into that.
15-minute move. I mean, I think if I move back down to the 6110, I
Yeah.
might be tempted to go long again. Right. Horatio's pointing out closing above 6118 will be closing above the sellers from the 31st and the 15th. Yeah, that is legitimate.
Hey,
Um,
Constantinos.
yeah,
All right.
I got it. So above 618, lovely. Thank you, Horatio. That is 6118.
So I'm going to go for that one, and we'll just see if I can get a reaction. 6115 stops under the 6113.
Yeah,
We are way up there.
thanks, Horatio. And we didn't get 6118. Devon's in from 611575.
Okay.
At target 6137, but this was because of break of previous single print, so looking for a sweep of previous value areas. Right, okay, Devon. Yeah. So Devon's looking for this value area to get swept through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, steady move higher, breaking these highs again. So this is good. I mean, this seems to be healthy.
Does, yeah, it does.
Seems to be healthy, so I'm interested in looking for longs if I can get a
Yeah.
spot to enter.
Yeah. Yeah, very nice. Delta moving higher now as well again. Right, 1 minute close above the opening range. Horatio's noticing. That's the opening range. We've got a 1 minute close above it, which is just adding a bit of extra. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now we're getting a bit of traction here.
Traction, but no entry.
No, that's true.
But we'll see. Much rather have this sort of market than yesterday's market.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, we're coming up to a 5 minute close, showing, I think that's showing us, that's confirming that we want to go up, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Still happy from that level, 6115.
Pushing
50.
above the developing value area. We're trying to push through a confirmed value area. This is indicating with a close up here that it wants to carry on through. We've then got a close above that 6118 with those 15 minutes sellers trapped. So basically, I think this zone is very attractive for buying.
Yep.
That's 6115.
Yep. I've got 611550.
Horatio's taken along off that 1 minute close at the 246 here. So you're long from around 6119. Good stuff. It's moving in the right direction for everyone. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
We're moving up. This is steady. This is just steady pushes.
Yeah.
See, see what we can get here.
Yeah, so we're trying to really break out of this area, aren't we?
Mhm.
That's very nice on the weekly. We're trying to go to some blue sky here.
And in theory, we have 30 points to go to the upside, right? To all-time highs. What was
Yeah.
that? The 50, basically.
Yeah, right. So that's basically a very nice area. And that standard deviation is nice. Like I like that first standard deviation return. Point of control,
Mhm.
confirm value area. So where you're thinking of, Paul, with these trap sellers, I think that's perfect.
Yep.
Um, the stop running under the VWAP. So if I was going to go there, oh, that's fine. I could have 6115. I can have less than a 10-point stop. That would be great.
Yep.
Hey, Charlie. Right, I'm going to put a static order at that point of control, Paul, at the 611575.
Okay.
I just like the way this is continuing to develop up. So if I get a
Mhm.
swing lower, I'm confident with my stop underneath the VWAP.
Yep.
So that seems reasonable.
Okay.
I'm going to make
Yeah,
a cup
with
of
you.
tea and hopefully I'll come back and I'm in $500 profit, right?
There you
Just
go.
check I set it all up correctly. Right, see you in a bit.
Yep. No, Charlie, fire away. Um, no worries on a few questions. We're just seeing if we can get this trade to trigger at the 611550. See how that goes. Got some sellers entering now. You know what? That's a really good point. I wonder if Giles actually had his audio squawk on. So we do have the news dropping in 5 minutes. So that is pretty significant. So that is worth pulling those orders for me. Um, just because of that inflation component. So we'll see. Um, it's still a little ways away, so it might be fine. Just get triggered in, but I'll wait on that. Give Giles a call. He has his phone with him.
Oh, cheers, buddy. Cheers, buddy. Coming up.
3 minutes till the news. So the trap buyers and sellers a little unsure how to look at them in regards to the strategy. So maybe a simpler okay, maybe a simpler way to think about it. This is the way that I've been thinking about it, Charlie. So basically, your trap buyers and sellers, first of all, they're most reliable the higher time frame you go up. So if you start with the 5 minute, it's going to be less reliable than the 15 minute, right? And so a lot of times we'll focus on the 15 minute. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that they're only an entry mechanism, really. That's what we're looking at, them as an entry mechanism. And what it is we're seeing we're seeing aggressive buyers or sellers get trapped. So by aggressive, we mean they're just hitting the bid. They're just entering the market. They don't care, whether it's, they're not entering a limit order. What we can see in that histogram is basically only the sellers that have or buyers that have aggression. So when those guys get trapped, the chances that their day
Approaching the
traders
top of
looking
the
to go
hour
the other
in about
direction.
1 minute now. We are again looking out for a set of US data. Euro sentiment prelim figures for February expected unchanged at 71.1. Conditions seen falling to 73 from 74. Expectations seen rising to 70 from 69.3. Also keeping an eye on those inflation expectations as well as wholesale sales alongside their inventory revisions.
Okay, so we could see a quick reversal here of this initial up move.
Right,
The
if
thing
it's
to focus on is the 1 year and the 5 year. Sorry to interrupt, Paul. I just wanted to
No, we'll get through the announcement. I'll get back to you, Charlie.
Yeah, sorry about that, Charlie. Just look at this. If this comes in like 3.3 or 3.2 again, don't be surprised if we see sudden drop. And if we suddenly see the sentiment dropping as well, like if this is 68.9
Yeah.
and we see the expectations coming in 68.6 and
10
then
seconds.
Yeah.
we'll make sense of that. Here we go. Okay, so
And that's 67.8 on sentiment. That's
wow.
ridiculous. 4.3. That is ridiculous.
They fall to
Wow.
68.7 beneath the
That is
expected
unreal.
73. Expectations 67.3
4 point,
beneath the expected 70. For inflation expectations, 1 year rises to 4.3%
That
from
is
the 3.3%
unreal.
prior. 5 year up to 3.3% from the prior 3.2. Quickly, wholesale sales
That doesn't make sense to me. Hang on.
1%.
4.3%.
Down 0.5% beneath the or in line with the expected.
There's not an obvious trade there, right? Because
in terms of reaction, are seeing
it's contradictory.
US equities sell off on that.
Because this is
Euro
inflationary,
report.
that's deflationary. So just
Yeah.
hold fire, right? So that's deflationary because if the US consumer is struggling, then the Fed will have to support them with interest rate
Recapping
cuts.
that UM report headline sentiment that was 67.8 beneath the expected 71.1 and also beneath the lowest forecast we had of 69. In terms of conditions, they were 68.7 beneath the expected 73 and again beneath the lower end of that range, which was 71. Expectations, same occurred, 67.3 beneath the expected 70 and lower end of that forecast range, which was 68.7. Inflation expectations both rose 1 year up to 4.3% from the prior 3.3, 5 year up to 3.3 from the prior 3.
Who have they asked? What? 4.3.
Yeah, I don't make up the numbers, Giles. These are what the numbers are.
Look, there it is, Paul. Look, 4.3.
That's crazy.
Look. So those on
Wow.
the server, they've suddenly gone up from 3.3, right, to 4.3. Oh, I know what it is.
What?
It's the trade war, isn't it? So when they were taking that survey, it was just before it would have been when all the trade war chat was going on.
Oh, interesting.
Right. So that's why, right, they'll price that out, I think. What I think has happened is they've been asked to serve it, and that's why there's a big difference in the 1 year and the 5 year. If it was something embedded, this would have been higher.
I see.
So you might be able to look through that,
Interesting.
which would
But
indicate the dip being bought. But look, I'm
we'll
maybe
have a big
putting two and two
excuse to
together
sell
and
it.
getting five here. So let's have a look.
Yeah,
Let's have a
yeah,
look. But
yeah.
yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't think this is as bad as the market is initially thinking it is.
but we could get a nice little sell-off before they.
Just further in that University of Michigan report, does note the decrease was pervasive, with Republicans, Independents, and Democrats all posting sentiment declines from January, along with consumers across age and wealth groups. Furthermore, all five index components deteriorated this month, led by a 12% slide in buying conditions for durables, in part due to a perception that it may be too late to avoid the negative impact of tariff policy. Expectations for personal finances sank about 6% from last month, again seen across all political affiliations, reaching its lowest value since October 2023. Many consumers appear worried that high inflation will return within the next year.
Right,
Yeah,
that was that tariff thing. So that's what it is. Right. Okay, that's good. Now, at what point does the market rationalize this? That's the question. It may not
Right.
even be today. So let's have a look what we've got. So we've got the 15. Big area is obviously here. That's the pre-release price here.
Yep.
So we start breaking down through that. We want to pay attention. Let's have a look on the 5. Right, okay, that's the second standard deviation hit. And the del look at the delta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge negative. 4,000 contracts coming in short here.
Now, Jack, I think it's the reason not to sell is just simply because of this. If that was 4.3 and that was all green, then that's around the board inflationary print. But if suddenly the consumers can struggling, then the Fed's more likely to cut rates. And it's kind of such a weird print. It's kind of like it was weird, you know? I mean, we have to go with what the market's telling us, right? Obviously.
Yep.
Like this is a sell. It just wasn't a sell out the box for me.
Yep.
It's tricky, you know. What can you do sometimes?
Well, I
I still,
mean,
I still
on the
think
up,
it could be bought. I still think it
yeah,
could be bought.
yeah. On the upside, we have movement, and movement's better than not. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
we'll see how the market wants to digest this.
I just think they're going to say, okay, hang on, if this is all based on the trade tariffs and the trade war, and Scott Bessent has said subsequent to that that they're going to be less stimulative for fiscal policy
Right.
and less combative for trade policy.
Right.
So they're
Right.
worrying about they're having these are unnecessary worries.
Right. The issue is that you have Trump generally who's going to pursue this path of tariffs, so
But in a weaker way than the markets were fearing.
right, but it's also Trump. And when you take the man as a whole, you're kind of like tariffs are his main thing. And
Yeah.
so maybe it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's weaker for now, but
Yeah.
if he's
If he's ticked.
right, where's the default going to go? Is it is
Yeah,
it
yeah.
more tariffs or less tariffs? So yeah, it's a tricky one.
Right, Anthony's looking for 90. Yeah, it's just and just because that print is mixed, do you see that that's inflationary, that's deflationary. Let's look at interest rate expectations. That'll tell us something. 4 minutes ago. But they haven't changed much, have they? They haven't changed at all. Okay. Right, we've had the first bit of bottoming attempt here at the 1. That's the first bit of an attempt to bottom. We had those those getting trapped there, those sellers.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Right. We've got the developing value area there, confirm value area we've moved down into. Now Jen's pointing out the pivot point, good for reversal. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Quite big, isn't it? It's quite a big
Yeah. I
volatile move that.
feel like you might have a little more downward to go.
Anthony got filled at the 98. Nice, Anthony. Those sellers are still here. No one's managed to trap those sellers yet. Okay, there we go. Those sellers trapped now. Let's see how they react the other side of the standard deviation. This is going to be an interesting area. Will buyers come in now and push this up to the 6101? No, they will not.
Yeah, this kind of a move, it's like you kind of have to go with the short-term momentum, I feel like, until the market tells you
Yeah,
otherwise.
I think you're right.
Because it's like push lower, push lower. You also have a big range that we kind of got out of.
Yeah.
And we tried to break to the upside, and now we're kind of back in that range. I don't know how important that is, but
Yeah, very nice entry. Anthony took profit at 90.
yeah,
Lovely
nice.
move. Well done.
Nice work.
Very nice. Literally perfect. 98 down to 90. Lovely. Here's one, Paul. What about these five? Now,
Yeah, yeah, if market wants to really go. Yep, yep, I'm with you.
I'm with you on that as well because that just makes sense in terms of the near momentum.
Yep. And
This is dropping like a bomb, isn't it? Look, 4,000.
well, and it kind of confirms like some of your fears about, okay, could this just get bought up? Are they going to look through it? If they're below that level,
Yeah,
it's kind of confirming, this is what the market wants to do for a little bit.
yeah, and it would break under these 15-minute
Mm.
as well. That would be the same thing.
Right.
Oh, tempted just to go short of that. You think that's just going to drop?
Maybe, but be patient. Chris, not yet. All right, we got a couple minutes to this 5 minute close. See what we get here.
Yeah. You just feel this is going to move down there in quite just straight down. Let's see. Because
I
that
don't
will
know
also
because
be a 15-minute close as well, you see.
yeah.
So it's quite big range, but we're pushing through a confirmed value area, yesterday's value area low.
Yeah. Also, it's like where the price is too. Like, notice the price got all the way up to these highs and kept pushing higher. So, where are a lot of, I mean, there's lots of stops all through here, you know?
Oh, yeah.
We're like, oh, we're going higher, we're going higher. We rejected the NFP. It's, you got a little bit of that going on too. Traders betting on just one rate cut. Chris is saying, is that okay? Interesting.
So December, 3.94%. Yeah, so one and a bit. So that is dovish. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So the entry is just back up to there, isn't it? Back up to the 6085 if you get it.
8-4. I have to have a 15-point stop on that, which I don't like. Um,
Yeah, I don't like that either. I might drop to micros on it.
and I don't like how we're at the bottom and we have a real small gap. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait on it. I'm gonna see if something else can transpire. Maybe we push a little higher, we get some buyers trapped, and then we resume.
Oh, there's a bit of a movement.
Yeah, see, do you wanna short that right at that bottom with like a little tiny 1 point gap there? I mean, okay, you just broke it. So technically, but I'm gonna stay out of it.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to have a look at that and see if I can get a retracement. It should be good because it's probably 16. Is it 6093? Where's that point of control still up there? You've got developing value area here. You see, if you look on the 15, you've got those sellers trapping those buyers there.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel 6094 should be fine. Now, where would that leave you in terms of your stop? That would keep your stop.
Yeah, above those highs.
So that's not
But
bad.
it's
So I'm going to go for that.
back. Yep.
Actually, just up against these trap buyers there, Paul. So if I
Okay.
get up to 6091, I'll be in with that. Just
Yep.
stop there. That gives me a little bit of everything. And then if I go back below these lows, I'll add to it.
Okay. Sounds good. My plan is to basically, I'm just gonna wait until we get if this really establishes into a nice move, then I'll wait for some buyers get trapped.
The thing is that generally speaking, that should just go because look at the
Yep.
weight of it.
Yep. Yep.
Sellers pushed against those trap buyers, just drop. But it's too big a stop, and then it's not worth it if I've reduced what I'm risking. It's not so attractive. So
Yeah, exactly. And it's part of the problem is that you have such a large move, you know,
yeah,
you're going to get an equally large move to get a really large, take profit as well if you're going to risk 10.
yeah,
Here's
yeah, yeah,
14
yeah,
points. Can you get 20 points at least out of this? Right? So it's trick it's the
yeah,
analysis is good and then it's like how do we what's the trading model, to apply it to? And I think that's right, waiting.
yeah. Because those,
Unless you
yeah, because those 15 minutes are trapped. So if you do
right.
get a move back up to there, you'd expect that to drop off from there.
Right. Right. Unless you had more of Chris's strategy where he's looking for those breakouts, but he's got like a few point stop and is just kind
But
of waiting to
yeah,
see if
that's
it goes in his direction. That's another strategy which considering adopting, Chris, so I can get into more moves.
yeah, yeah. The important thing for me, this meets my risk parameter. This meets it, keeps it
Yep.
just under $500. So my
Yep.
maximum $500 for these.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. There's a little bit of a pullback there.
Charlie, we got more action than we thought. We'll get back to your get back to your question shortly.
I still think that I'm not taking it, but I still think that would be a legitimate short.
Yep.
Right. Do you see this is coming back, Paul? If this is starting to come back to this area,
Hmm.
then I just move my entry up to the 60.95
Yep.
so that I can keep my stop behind the VWAP.
Yep.
And then I feel I'm very nicely anchored.
Yep. Okay.
So I've got the delta negative. If I get a pullback to that 95, I'm happy to sell, but I've got my stop above the VWAP.
Okay. Very nice. See if market gives you your entry.
Yeah, and those buyers just trap. No, they could do nothing. All they could do was just take it off that low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So Charlie, basically the way we're thinking about trap buyers and sellers is the first thing you need to know is the 5 minutes are less reliable than the 15. That's for starters. The reason you're looking for trap buyers and sellers. I'm going to say this whole big speech, right? And Charlie will be away for a coffee, but the reason we're looking for trap buyers and sellers is because we can spot aggressive sellers. No, he's here. Okay. So we can spot aggression from the buyers or sellers on that delta histogram, right? So all these people that just came in, they're aggressively selling. They weren't waiting for anything. They just hit the sell button, right? So if those guys get trapped or girls, then what that
Girls could
means,
trade too, Paul.
yeah, yeah, I apologize for my misogynistic behavior. But if price goes above that level, what that means is a lot of people are holding their stops, right? Like right above those candles. And they use that, the market uses it as a reference point. So that's the reason we're looking at those levels generally. And that's the reason we look to kind of use them as a trade entry point. Now, they're just a trade entry point, really. We're not, you're not jumping in just based on those alone. You're jumping in based on a variety of other factors. Are we ranging? Are we trending? What is the cumulative delta doing? What are the value areas doing? you know, how has price held up, that sort of thing. So yeah, let me know if that helps or what, you know, what follow-up questions. We can use them as targets to be cleared. Um,
Just note
yeah,
Fed does continue to scale back. So the market-based probability of a June rate cut has now fallen to just over 50%. Some people are attributing this to the inflation gauge of the University of Michigan report. I'm sure that is what the market is going with. Obviously,
Yeah.
a lot of commentators just noting the discrepancy between Republicans and Democrats in their views, whereby Republicans are almost looking for zero inflation over the next year, and Democrats around about 5%. So it's clearly a highly
incredible.
politicized cause and unclear how much actual signal it's worth.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, though, the market is clearly running with it. Nonetheless.
That's a joke, right? Yeah. I look, Paul, that's just another reason for me to not. I'm just ignoring this narrative. I'm sorry. Right.
Yeah.
I'm going with the price action, but there's no way I'm going to pay attention to that now.
Okay.
Like Republicans 0%, and then
Democrats
Democrats
5%.
5. You know what? Are you kidding me? That's not a survey on your household expenditure. That's a survey on your political views.
Yep, yep, yep,
I'm almost tempted to buy it off the bat.
yep, yep. Um, right. So we do use them as marker. You're looking through. It's a way of understanding how and where price is going and moving, because you can see on like the 5 minute or the 15 where sellers or buyers are getting trapped, and you can use that to kind of read price. And it's an extra that extra bit of information that the futures market gives you is you can see, like, take a look at these sellers on Giles' chart, the second most amount of sellers that came in, right? Well, if those guys get trapped and, you know, and you get this narrative, you put all the pieces together, what is that telling you about where price may want to go? That's a really great reversal signal. I believe you had it on the 15-minute chart there, Giles. So the second amount of sellers right up at that swing where you're thinking about entering. Um, sorry, it's probably on the 5 minute now. Yeah, see that big swing down, those guys. So that's your first, like if they get trapped, it's what does that tell you about this move, you know? Um, they shouldn't get trapped. They should be able to hold, and then price should be able to move lower. So let me know and feel free to follow up. And part of the thing with this price action is the higher we move up, right? So let's say we're at the 60.93. People can put their stops above the 99, above that swing point, right? So it almost becomes more and more valuable the closer you get up there, and it becomes stiffer of a resistance because you can get in for cheaper. And if you're wrong, you know, then you risk what, 4 or 5 points and you go the other direction. So
I've just had a little exploratory long on the
okay.
micros. I don't buy this narrative at all. Um, I could be wrong, of course, so I will be playing it sensibly, but I'm taking the first signal of a reversal here, and I'm taking that for a potential long. We'll
Yeah.
see. Um, it's only a minor single signal. You see it here on the 1 minute. You can see some of these buyers taking out some of these late sellers.
Yeah.
And so I've just gone long from this point of control, this standard deviation. And I'm going to see how it goes, right?
Okay. Great. I'm not going to try to fight the trend
No,
just,
don't, no, that's fine. I mean, just
but we'll see. You mean you definitely could be right here.
I'm going to be led by the price. The only thing that's if the interest rate markets are paying attention,
Exactly.
that's the only thing. But I think at some point people are going to be thinking, oh, hang on. You know, this
Right.
is this is a
This is a
political thing.
political. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But as they say, the market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. So I
That's
am
it.
not going crazy on this. So hence I'm in with a micro.
Yep. Yeah, fair enough.
Tricky to trade these huge ranges as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anthony retested the 100 level and then back down. Yeah, I can see it. You got the VWAP there. You definitely expect the bounce there. Um, and I know I'm trying to buy the dip, but you've got to go with the short-term interest rate markets, which are still showing just one interest rate cut this year, which is dovish. I'm going to give it a chance to take out these sellers. And if it can't take out these sellers, I'm going to exit.
So is the histogram only showing the pure sell or buy orders only? Yeah, but it's showing is just the aggressive. So it's not showing limit buy or sell orders. So people will place
All
orders
right,
in
I'm
the
out of that.
okay at certain levels. What it'll show is just people hitting buy or sell and getting their orders filled immediately. So it's showing aggression essentially. I'm gonna go reheat the coffee. Be back.
Okay, so you were back under that point of control, pushing away from that value area. This is telling me it wants to keep going down. So
Just seeing here comments from Fed's Goolsby, noting today was a solid jobs report. So that's according to an interview on Yahoo Finance. So again, the Fed's Goolsby says today was a solid jobs report. And it looks like we are settling into full employment. So as Fed's Goolsby says, looks like we are settling into full employment. These comments just going via a Yahoo interview.
okay, so 15-minute buyers trapped, pullback, sell off. Still not buying it, but it's going to wait for something clear here. Going to just be led by the price, and then we'll take it from there. For now, sellers are still in control of this. Delta lower, interest rate expectations change. Trade what you see, and we should get lower prices from here.
Further from Goolsby, it says tariffs add a little uncertainty. And furthermore, Goolsby says, hopeful that after what they've seen recently, the tariffs end up not being a big impediment to trade. and says as long as tariffs are not a large impediment, he would be comfortable with the path that the Fed is on. Goolsby notes that short-term inflation expectations are not as important for his thinking as long-term market-based inflation expectations. Goolsby does note that longer run market-based inflation expectations show the market believes the Fed will get inflation to 2%. Mexican President Sheinbaum says the central bank decision to lower rates was good for the country.
Okay, I'm gonna go try and make that cup of tea again.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, markets kind of unclear. It's like
Yeah, it really is, isn't
seems to
it?
be basing around here, but then at the same time, they're like, can I really go long in the face of all of the short action? But then they're like, is it really
Just
that
noting that
significant?
all live poultry markets have been shut down temporarily in New York City after bird flu has been detected. So again, all live poultry markets have been shut down temporarily in New York after bird flu has been detected.
That's no good. New York is too
Central
close
Port
to me.
likes to Tyson Food took a TSN.
Not good. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Devon. You also have the point of control down here, so people are kind of happy to make their decisions, auction back and forth. What would be interesting, Giles, is if we could break the 6095 or well, the 6098.
Yeah, yeah, that would be for a little play back up to the VWAP.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, point of control down there. That would be nice.
Just a piece here in the New York Post via Gasparino, noting that US President Trump is such a crypto convert that Wall Street executives believe he is poised to create a regulatory framework for digitized stocks and bonds that could be traded over the blockchain. That's according to On the Money.
That's incredible. That's great.
Yeah, it's big. That's a big thing, isn't it? That will really open up markets. There we go.
Further from Goolsby, it says the Fed is on hold now, but over the next 12 to 18 months, settling policy rates will be a fair bit below where it is now.
All right, we're gonna test this 1025 candle. Let's see.
Hmm.
But here from Goolsby says the speed at which rates come down will be slower with more fogginess.
Right, I'm gonna make that tea.
Okay. Say that they're here and they're met with selling each time. Yeah. Trust the trend until it fails, right? What would be interesting is on this 5 minute at the 10:35, if we move up, right, can't break any higher, and then we break below this 5 minute bar. Say we close at like the 84, 83. That'd be interesting. Yeah, so since heavy cumulative delta is heavy negative and bought 6 billion for even 10 a.m., so it's overbought and it's Friday today, who would not to book profit, especially headline risk. Yeah, so generally these are very intraday trades. So Apex doesn't even let us hold overnight. So you have to have your orders closed out by 5 p.m. So yeah, these are just, we're looking for moves intraday and then closing out. And yeah, I probably wouldn't think about trading at like 3:30 and after today just because of the end of the week and positions kind of whipped around being settled. Hope that makes sense
But
in
here
here.
from Goolsby says things will take longer than end 2025 to get to neutral policy rate. So Goolsby says things it will take longer than end 2025 to get to neutral policy rate. Goolsby reaffirms that he thinks that the Fed is on the path to 2% inflation.
Okay. Here we go. That looks like I like that for a sell a lot.
Yeah, I was just saying that if we get under the 1035.
Yeah, I'll be all over that.
Yep.
Right. Phase one. Here we go. Right, here we go. This stats looks really attractive, doesn't it?
Yep. Let's see if we can get it.
Yeah.
And further here from Goolsby says, does not think the Fed would play a role in any sovereign wealth fund.
Yeah, I saw that Trump thinking of a US sovereign wealth fund.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Goolsby notes that the Fed's balance sheet holdings are restricted by law.
Thing is, generally it's the oil-rich countries that have done that to try to desperately look into the future when oil ends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just note that interview on Yahoo Finance is now concluded with Goolsby. So just in terms of the crux of it, he did note that today was a solid jobs report. It'll take longer than end 2025 to get the policy rate to neutral. He does note the Fed is on hold for now, but over the next 12 to 18 months, the settling policy rates will be a fair bit below where it currently is. As always, we have collated all those headlines on the headline feed of the website.
Okay,
Yeah.
close below here and I'm in.
Let's see.
Do we get it?
The 60, 86, 75 about.
Yeah,
Okay, just barely.
yeah, I've taken
Another
that.
comment from that Goolsby interview just circulating notes he wants the balance sheet to move to all treasuries.
Right.
See if we can get a push lower here. Where's your target on this, Giles?
Um, it should be 60.75, but I've made a little mistake in that I've opened three contracts onto one account.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So I'm not too far from passing this one. So I'm just going to see.
Yep. You might get a retracement up to
Yeah,
the.
to the point of control. So
See what the market wants to do here. Don't love it coming back up into that.
no, I don't either. But that's okay. I don't mind that. I don't mind that retest that point of control.
think I'm actually gonna jump out of that one, Giles.
Yeah, I can see why, Paul. I'm
So
going to
I'm
hold on
out.
to it because I like it. It's in a confirmed value area.
Yeah.
I like that rejection from the confirmed value. I also like that point of control. So I do like lower prices.
Yep. You're probably right.
It's
Probably
fine.
should do
I
that too.
understand. We are these sort of it's these bottoms is the problem.
Yep. Yeah, I wanted to see that go and just couldn't go anywhere. Yeah, Chris.
Okay, fine. Coming up to a 5 minute close, and we're still keeping the sellers there as long as we stay below that standard deviation, that point of control. So that can indicate like a drop, he says, as we push above the point of control. Let's see where we
So
close.
just know at the top of the hour, this is not confirmed, but obviously you do have Powell's semi-annual testimony tomorrow. It is possible we could see the text of that release today. It could potentially be at the top of the hour. Again, we've not got confirmation of that, but just a bit of headline risk as we go through the top of the hour. Elsewhere, it could potentially be in the latter part of the session, maybe around the 9 o'clock area. But again, not any confirmation of this.
Yeah, that's that's looking like it's trying to turn around now, isn't it? That's
Yeah, it's like you had your short opportunity basically
yeah.
to go short and it just wasn't having it.
It sort of went down into the bottoms, didn't it? Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
give it a bit of time, see if I can
You're still in a range. You're still in this little range, this little
range. Yeah. There, yeah.
wacky range,
Yeah,
as
that's
Chris says.
okay. I'm out of that.
Okay. Yeah, probably the right call. I mean, we'll see what happens. We're now at the top of this thing, so it might just suck back down again. But the thing is, you had the news, and now you had this chance to go lower, and
Yeah, yeah. And you're rejecting those lows. You see, that's the problem.
Yeah, and it's like repeatedly, and then you had your chance, you trapped some buyers, and you just couldn't
Yeah,
go lower.
yeah, yeah.
Never mind.
And update from Reuters sources, President Trump told Republican lawmakers he plans to issue reciprocal tariffs as early as Friday.
Did Trump save you on that one, Charles?
Yeah, yeah, did basically.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy.
And just repeating that last headline again, US President Trump told Republican lawmakers he plans to issue reciprocal tariffs as early as Friday, seeing immediate dollar upside on this news.
Wow. Well, I wish I held it now, but there's nothing you can do about that. Yeah, Giles is still in.
A couple of questions regarding who the tariffs
Oh,
from US President Trump concern. From the headline we've seen, doesn't specifically say, but would assume China given circumstances. In terms of a broader reaction, I was seeing S&P and all the US equities now selling off on this news. US equities, they are at session lows now on those futures.
well, that was my market was really unresponsive. That was so annoying.
You just couldn't close the trade.
So what happened is I was pressing like to close and it wouldn't close the trade.
Huh.
And then what happened is it put the opposite orders in.
Oh, really? Well, that's annoying.
Yeah, really annoying.
I should write into Apex about that.
That was really annoying. So I was nearly past one of the accounts and it just blew it because of the yeah. But the good news though is the live account, I got 801 on it.
Okay. Well, that's positive.
Did it? Yeah, Chris, yeah. So the good news is the the um the live account that I've got is was up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so annoying.
Yeah.
That is so annoying.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I, I was already out of that thing. Was not expecting Trump to step up to the plate, give an assist to all shorts.
Yeah, that's right. And you're right. Stick to the positive, isn't it? And because I was trying to add into that thing as it was going, like, Trump, go, you sell, sell, sell.
Go, go. Yeah.
Ah, okay, no worries. Right, that is frustrating, but let me just check all other accounts are closed. That's the important thing. Just gonna blank it all off. Okay, the other one's all right. 57's all right. And my 58's all right. Okay, that's all right. It's just the one account that was affected. Oh, it's just what it was.
Yeah.
It's like it was so unresponsive. I was trying to close it out. It just
Yeah.
wasn't letting me. Yeah, exactly. I can always get another. Yeah, it was just what was really annoying. I was like about $150 from passing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might send them an email and say,
Yeah, definitely send them an email.
let me see what the floating P&L was. Max went up 2128. Yeah, so that it was here. All right.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah, I hit the trading. I don't know if I hit the 53,000. I can't quite work it out.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Okay, let's just get our trading head back on because there's more trading to be done, right? So that's interesting, Paul. This drop from here, if we get a cl selling from 60.84 makes sense,
Yeah.
or from 60.78 makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, you get that nice block there.
An update via the Nikkei, they say US chip curbs hit China harder than expected as TSMC treads carefully. US chip curbs hit China harder than expected as TSMC treads carefully.
Like the 6081.
And just seeing the Fed monetary policy report, Fed remains strongly committed to achieving 2% inflation goal. US financial conditions continue to appear to be somewhat restrictive. Labor market remains solid and appears to have stabilized. Financial system remains sound and resilient. Inflation expectations appear broadly consistent with the Fed's 2% inflation objective. And they will weigh data as it considers future policy moves.
Interesting.
And that is the latest Fed monetary policy report ahead of Fed Chair Powell's testimony next week.
Yeah, we might get up a little further here and have a short from the 81.
Yeah.
Just an update to that earlier headline that US President Trump told Republican lawmakers he plans to issue reciprocal tariffs as early as Friday. More detail in that report on the campaign trail. Trump promised to impose reciprocal tariffs on American imports equal to the rates that trading partners impose on American exports. The White House did not immediately respond to requests for comment.
Maybe we won't get there. Maybe we'll just want to go lower here.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see that.
Just a bit more on that TSMC story. They are informing Chinese customers it cannot ship orders unless using chip packaging services from supplier on US whitelist. Says it takes extremely cautious approach to ensure compliance, said the sources briefed on the matter.
Okay, right. Oh,
What a day. What a day so
yeah.
far. Crazy day.
Yeah.
Just a bit more on TSMC. They will not ship orders to any clients using foreign chip packaging suppliers facilities in China, regardless of their whitelist status.
Take care, Chris.
Yeah, cheers, Chris. Have a good one.
Oh, yeah, I hope you have a really nice weekend. See you back
Yeah,
next
enjoy
week.
yourself, mate.
See if we test these lows here.
Yeah.
The problem is, if the market's concerned about these tweets in the market, I feel like your price action becomes a little less rational, because they
Yeah.
don't know. Think about all the participants, right? It's like, where's the next blow going to come from? People don't really know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Um, so it makes the environment a little uncertain. Thank you, Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, Donald. Yeah. Oh, funny old day.
You doing anything this weekend, Giles? Or
Oh, I'm cleaning my kitchen. Well,
okay,
I'm sorting out my kitchen cupboards.
okay, sounds like
That's the kind of fun I've got ahead of me.
that's a great weekend activity. I
Oh
love
yeah.
I
If you saw
love
my cupboards, you'd realize it isn't a week. It is weekend activity. I finally cracked. I said to my wife today, that's it. I
Got to
can't do
do
it
it.
anymore. I'm going to sort it out on the weekend.
Okay, okay,
Maybe go for a walk in the afternoon together and then watch the
that'd be
rugby in
nice.
the afternoon.
Oh, that'd be nice.
And you're doing the Super Bowl. Is that tonight or is it tomorrow?
No, that's Sunday night. Um,
Oh,
yeah. So we've got a couple days, but yeah, I do grill. Grill's good. I've got an old smoker in the backyard, so occasionally pull that out and smoke some meat. Um, but yeah,
bit of a retracement underway.
headed back in the other area.
Just want to have a look at this on the big scheme of things. No, it's a bit of a dip. Oh, right, okay.
I haven't tried the electric smokers. That's interesting. Is that are those like the wood pellet smokers, like the Traegers, or I thought those used um I guess they don't use propane. Yeah, maybe they use fire and they use the electric to like ignite the chips. Here we go. Now we're headed back.
Yeah, pushing up through those last minute sellers.
Yeah, pellets. Yeah, I have a friend who lives a few blocks from me in Philly who's got one of those. But I haven't tried it myself. Heard really good things. The heat's real even. Temperature is very even. I want to get a moonshine stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's the problem is I just don't smoke that much. So I'm just kind of like, oh, I probably would do it more if I had an electric one. But what a choppy market today. Man, choppy, whippy. We got our downtrend, but man, hard to capitalize on.
Yeah. With the on the micros, I had 5 micros running. That was the trade on the live account from 60.86 to 60.54.
Oh, nice.
And you can see the exit was lit almost perfect just down there.
Okay.
So that was nice. That was
Okay.
$806. And there
Okay.
was about $250 risk.
Nice. I haven't tried apple pie moonshine. No. How is it? Is it good?
Apple pie moonshine. That sounds like we're bootlegging again. Yeah. Back to the prohibition.
That makes sense, Devon. That's why we got some of these whipsaw action. Traders took one look at the market and they're out for the weekend. Yeah. Yeah, it's a reduced risk. Put your stops behind swings type of day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough, Mark. That's right. Yeah, look at those swings.
Yeah, just people who want to stay aside, aren't they? So yeah, tricky. Those 5 minute sellers, they were supported in the end.
Yeah. Yep.
It's almost worth having limit orders in the market in case for a Trump headline.
I think it's tricky though. Where do you put them? And I mean, you can put them, you'd have to have them at real solid support and resistance zones.
Well,
And
you keep them 20, 30 points away from price, so they only get triggered in on a headline.
yeah, it's a tricky one. Maybe
Yeah. But
micros.
it's like almost every day with Trump, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's not like this is a rare
Yeah.
thing. This is like Trump's daily div in the
Routine.
market. Yeah, it's such a routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely whenever you're in a trade, creep your stops up. Um,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and try to because that can happen. For me, I had just gotten out with a 4 point loss, and then I just wasn't in the trade. So it's like fair enough, price goes the other direction, but um, you want to keep that real tight.
And I was trying to manage it across two different accounts while adding.
Yeah.
Ugh. In truth, though, I'm actually happy because the live account's up, so that's the most important thing. So
Yeah.
that's the important one.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that tweet was better than NFP. Yeah. All right, Mark Anthony.
Take care, Mark.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you're reducing risk and um trading micros on those live accounts. See you guys next week, or see you, Mark, next week. I think Najam, what happens is the markets get used to some of this stuff and they start to write it off. Like the tariff stuff will become less and less market moving, I think, over time. But right now it's all fresh. We don't know what's how real it is or not. So it's trying to adjust to that. Yeah, it's not like you can price them in. Yeah, it's true.
No. Yeah, he'll come up with something else. I'm waiting for him to say two contradictory things in the same speech, in the same kind of paragraph.
Yeah,
Something like, we're going to put tariffs on them
right.
and then we're going to take them off.
Right, right. And the market just doesn't know what to do. Yeah.
Yeah. That was tricky. That original drop was on those inflation expectations.
Mhm.
What was just really tough with that, it was just, it was almost too strong.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense. And that was with that political party thing. I don't know. Hard sometimes. It's
Well, I
tough.
think I think we actually probably would have continue kind of based out there and continue higher if Trump hadn't been speaking.
Yeah.
But sort of the price action's king, you know.
Yeah, it is.
And then you look for your entries. The piano pattern.
There we go.
More
Just look
news. Somebody knows something.
what's going on here. What is going on there, eh? I quite I, that was quite nice for a long there, Paul. I just couldn't quite get my orders in on those sellers getting trapped, you see. Just
Yep,
right,
a
yeah,
little
just
touchback.
control. Yeah, that would have been quite nice.
Yep.
Couldn't quite get in there quick enough.
Yeah.
Might get another chance at it.
It's tough to trust it because the market's still down, the trend's still down. You know,
Yeah,
like
it's quite
you,
stretched though. It's almost like feels like too stretched to the downside. 20,000.
yeah.
You've kind of had a touch and go of it though. You've had a move 78.
Yeah, but this is a very nice natural, like look at the broad picture, you know, move down, retracement, now move down, you know.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, yeah.
But it's a little
Just an update on CNBC. Discussing the tariff headlines earlier, something the president is looking at, but timing seems premature.
Now, who was saying the timing feels premature? That's
no, I think they were saying some CNBC and I'm not sure.
yeah, okay.
East Oak electric smoker. Okay, I'll check it out. East Oak. Oh, with a glass door. Love that. Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting, Anthony. Might have to pick one of those up. Mhm.
Quite indecisive, isn't it? If you look at this, it's
It is, yeah. I think it's trying to move higher, but
yeah. Thing is, you've got the trade risk, and China are meant to, their tariffs are meant to come in on Monday, aren't they?
yeah.
So that'll be interesting. I would actually, I would actually still favor selling.
Yeah.
There we go. Now these, if these guys capitulate, that's another leg lower, isn't it, potentially?
Yeah, I will see. It's a tough, it's a tough market. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go long, that's for sure. It's just how do I get into the short? That's more of the question.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. It's tricky that one. That is tricky. So the short would be, right, it would be on those sellers, it would be on these buyers getting trapped at the 60, 63. Then we'd get in.
Yeah,
Then I think the entry would have to be on a retest of that broken trend line,
yeah.
right? So go through there,
Mhm.
retest the broken trend line at the 60, 68, which would leave a stop 78
Yeah,
all the way up here, 88. So 20-point stop.
yeah. It's
So
just
that would need to be, right, just hold it. that would need to be basically three three contracts would be about 500, wouldn't it, on the micro?
Yeah.
So I'm happy to take that if I get it on the
Okay.
micro with three contracts, and that should give me around $500 risk.
Yeah. See, I'm not, I'm
I'm,
just,
yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to.
yeah, okay. I'm just not, it's too, I think it's just the nature of this trend is just too uncertain for me. I want it to be nice and clean, and we've had plenty of days in the past month or two where it's just been nice and clean and easy, and this is just very difficult. So I'm gonna,
I think it's volatile, but I don't think it's difficult, is my take on it.
okay,
I think it's selling off.
yeah.
And I know I know I've been roughshod around. So how am I stand? Why am I saying it's not hard?
No,
But
I think yeah, that's totally fine. It's just a risk. It's a risk preference, so that's
yeah,
fine.
but the way I'm going to manage the risk is by using
Micros. Yep.
micros that keep the risk to $500,
Yep.
albeit it is going to be hard. So it's the 66 to 86. That's what I'm looking at entering, and I've got my stops there at the 86. So above that swing.
Yep. So that's quite a ways away. Charlie's sort from the 60-70. Okay. Little
Well,
sort
that's
of
grand. Yeah. Well
trend
done,
line break.
Charlie. Right.
And break headed lower.
So I've got those buyers trapped there.
Yep. Played it off the rejection. Here we come back to Charlie's entry.
Okay, so I'm now in.
Yep.
All right. And now it's just a waiting game.
Yep. Yeah, we could target those lows, maybe the 55, something like that.
Yeah, maybe a 45. It's not very far away, is it really? Yeah, okay.
There we go. A little movement in your direction.
This is strange, Paul, because there's an aggressive trend that I'm in and you're not. I, I don't think I've seen this happen. I think it's a new experience for me.
I know. I know. I
Is it
think
the
it's
gold? Is he unsettling you?
no, no. I think it's the aggressive trend, but it's also just the quality of the trend. Like look at these bars. Like I don't know what, you know what I mean? It's like up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. And I'm just
Yeah,
when I think about a clean, pure trend, this is not it. We're moving lower, but you know,
yeah, yeah.
and we're entering and we're sort of right at the bottom and you don't have that normal cadence that goes like this, right? Here you're pulling up, you break lows, you're pulling up. Those are situations that are um are really good. No, I didn't, Ajam. Charlie, I'm short at the sorry for the delay. I'm short at the 67, played it off the rejection of the 1625 candle. It's the 1625. Um,
Oh yeah, look at that 15. That would
oh,
be
the
beautiful.
1 minute. Okay, you went down to the 1 minute. Okay, gotcha. So the 1 minute is not generally something that Giles will do some stuff on the 1 minute.
Yeah, it's just harder because you got to look at the whole context more.
Right, right.
Yeah, look at the 15 that Najam's pointed out. That was nice.
Yep. Mhm. Just hanging around here, hanging around.
Thanks, Najim. Oh, yeah. Cheers, Najim. Thank you very much. Good man. Yeah, I got it. Okay, a little bit more of a pullback there. Trying to develop a bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Being met with selling pressure, the first opportunity is buyers trapped lower. Right, so Paul, if I get a close underneath this 60-60, I'm going to add another micro position.
Okay. Looks like you will.
I don't know. We've got a couple of minutes left, and okay, let's go on. Clear out, everyone. We've got to break through these lows. Right, okay, here we go. We're coming into the close. Let's see how we do. See, that's tough, really. It's not really.
Thing is, the broader context is while it's down, it's just you look over the last like since 1050, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, right? It's just not, it's just garbage.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that's looking better. Let's see. We're trying to take out those. Okay, we're trying to move a bit lower now. Okay, now let's see if they capitulate down here, the 55.50s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. I am in. It's just the micros, but I'm in, and I'm looking. I was looking to add if we can clear out the lows and looking for a fresh leg lower. It's tricky. I don't want to see that. So that was 1,300 contracts short there that just
Yeah.
came in.
Yep. Quite a bit.
We still haven't managed to trap any of these buyers yet.
Yeah.
Give it a couple of mins. If I don't get them trapped here, then I'm going to jump out because it's just the risk is this becomes a double bottom.
Hmm.
Okay, volume is building to the downside. The buyers couldn't trap anyone. Sellers are stepping back in.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, they're getting a bit of more confidence again. Now, the buyer's resolve will be tested down here. Do you want to try and bottom it, boys? Let's see.
Just seeing the latest Atlanta Fed GDP now, that is for Q1 of 2025, that's 2.9%, maintaining the 2.9% estimate.
I'm like a cat on a hot tin roof every time this squawk goes off now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna. So I'm gonna add another position
Okay.
because I have now got some buyers trapped down just there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try and add to it. I know. It's almost like a satire, isn't it? Trump is. Oh dear. Come on.
Moving lower.
In about 8 minutes' time at the top of the hour, expecting Fed's Kugler is set to speak on entrepreneurship and aggregate productivity. So from that title, not too sure she will be talking about the economy or monetary policy. Just recapping some of Kugler's last remarks, she last spoke in January the 3rd. She said the economy ended 2024 in a good place with good growth. Says the process of disinflation has kept going. Key is that the job market has cooled gradually, and there is a view that the Fed can take time on its future rate cuts.
Okay, still pushing through.
Yeah.
See if we target these lows here.
Yeah, this 49 looks attractive.
Yeah.
It's really hard when you're trying to push through lows. It doesn't kind of feel the sentiment is negative, but let's have a look. Or I might just give it a second or two. I just took it off as it's hovering in these
Yeah.
lows.
Okay. Yeah, that
Maybe
makes
prematurely.
we'll see.
Okay, so Devon's saying 1024, waiting on a bid at 53.25. That's why it ran from that, right? Okay, yeah. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Trying buying and yeah, yeah.
You'd almost kind of like to, you see like a break of the lows, everyone, takes profit, breathes a sigh of relief, and then market just
Yeah.
retraces, goes sideways, call it Friday.
Yeah, it's just down there. And the second standard deviation down there, just am I,
Yeah.
is there another like if I think I've gone and I wanted to see these guys just capitulate straight away, these these lows here.
Yeah.
So that's okay. Let's have a look what we got. Well, interesting if we get these guys trapped. I think I'm gonna call it a day for my trading though. But
Yeah. Fair enough. Slowly, slowly, slowly on these lows.
okay.
I think that pretty much wraps it up for the day.
Yeah. What a day. What a
What a
day.
day it's been.
I mean, that has been wild.
Yeah, there's a
We've had
lot of
everything.
action. Yeah, you're not bored today.
Huh. Right. Yeah, and you, Devon.
Take care, Devon.
But yeah. Should we do a quick rundown, Paul?
Yeah, let's do it if we can
Well, I say a quick rundown.
we can recap everything that's happened today.
Take a couple of paracetamol. Right.
Yeah.
Here we go. So, first thing, let's look at the 59, right? So, this is the first account that was nearly passed, but then it got blown, and this is how it got blown. So, we had the stronger jobs data, which on net I read as a negative. And so I just played that second standard deviation as we hit it after the headline NFP, and then just played it back to the VWAP.
Yep.
So nice couple of positions short. Then we wanted to switch and go long with the sellers getting trapped at the open. So this is hard with the scaling because of the NFP, the University of Michigan print.
Yeah.
Update: US President Trump signs order amending duties on de minimis imports from China.
Oh dear, right. Okay. And then you got sellers trapped here at the US Open. So above a developed value area. So as price moved towards that developed value area high, bought in and took profit off at the value area. So great. So far, so good. And then had a short from this area. We're on the 5-minute chart. We had some buyers getting trapped there.
Yeah.
Now, I took some shorts, took shorts off for a loss prematurely, then added in on that Trump headline with the tariffs coming as soon as Friday.
Yeah.
And that's when Apex let me down. And when I was trying to, it wouldn't let me close out. And the platform essentially jammed. And then I'd hit um, a buy to close the sell order so many times
Right.
and it wasn't responding, but then suddenly it kicks in. I didn't
Yeah.
realize and I came back and it messed me around. So that
Yeah.
blew that account annoyingly. because I hit the trailing drawdown.
Yeah.
Right, very annoying. Okay. However, it does get a bit better. So that same trade here with those.
Just seeing comments from US Fed's Kugler. It says, in considering appropriate policy rate, will watch developments, carefully assess data, outlook, and risks. US economy is on a firm footing, anticipates solid GDP growth in Q1. Says the January jobs report shows US labor market is healthy, is neither weakening nor overheating. Says recent progress on inflation is slow, uneven, inflation remains elevated. Kugler sees considerable uncertainty on economic effects of new.
Okay, we'll just hold Kugler off for a moment. Then this was a live account, and that was an $801 profit. Now that was nice. Now that was trading the same trade, but on the micros just to limit the risk. And then I had that same trade where those buyers were trapped by the sellers, but my stop was above the VWAP. I was a bit more generous on that stop.
Yeah.
And then with that Trump headline, fortuitously, exactly in the right place at the right time, and then closed that out for $800, which is nice.
Yeah.
Says the recent progress on inflation is slow and uneven. Inflation remains elevated.
Hang on. Right, just have to turn the squawk off for that, right? So that was that one. Then had the 57 print, and that was just on that was the one trade that I took on the sellers trapped by buyers, took a pullback towards the VWAP and then up into the value area high.
Yep. Very nice.
So that was nice. And then final trade of the day was just here. These buyers getting trapped here by sellers.
Yeah.
And as they were trapped, I added a short on a slight pullback on the micros because the stop had to be so large. And then added to it with those buyers getting trapped here, and then just took profit as price sort of labored around the lows.
Very nice. Very nice. So a profitable day other than Apex letting you down, essentially.
Yeah. And that was just execution because I was trying to close out with a healthy
Right.
profit. It wasn't letting me. And that's really annoying.
Right. Well, not near as active as you today.
Yeah, I know. I've been a busy bee. Yeah.
Yeah, you've been in and out and in and out. I was in with you short on that consolidation right before the Trump headline. Price had moved down from that inflation print that we saw. Yep, right there. And we were starting to consolidate, consolidate, consolidate. And then we had sellers trapping buyers right around those lows. Reason still interested in the trade is just because we had a period of consolidation there. So, we had our chance. We were going to go lower. And then I entered just at a retracement to those buyers that got trapped. You can't really see it now because that huge sell order is distorting the picture. And then price was not moving in our favor. This was right before the Trump headline. And so I closed it out. I had a 10-point stop on it. Wanted it to move in my direction, closed it out for a 4-point stop when it didn't go there. And then about a couple months later, the Trump headlines hit. So there you go. That's what you get. And that's all for me today. Generally just not, it is a trend lower. We want to trade trends, but it just is not a predictable, easy sort of trend that I'm looking to get really aggressive with and involved in. So got to be patient. We'll get more opportunities, maybe some more opportunities next week.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the jam is definitely blown. Yeah. I can see on the max drawdown. See here, trading max drawdown 0.
Yeah. All right, everyone.
Have a good weekend, everyone. Thanks for your help today, Devan. Oh, enjoy Super Bowl, Paul.
I will. Hope the Eagles win. Go Birds.
I never know what to say when you say things like that.
Exactly.
I just look at you like a Brit, like,
Yeah, like, what are you talking about? Go Birds. birds.
Go birds.
Um,
Yeah.
thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Take care, everybody.